Hi, and welcome to the Little Bite of Everything podcast.
This podcast is for foodies, life enthusiasts, creatives, deep thinkers, you name it.
We believe in the power of insightful conversations. So, let's bite down on diverse topics, discussing our personal perspectives and experience. What are we waiting for?
Let's dig in. Hi, and welcome to the first episode of A Little Bite of Everything. We are your hosts, Maribel,
April, Cindy,
Carol.
How are you guys feeling? I am so excited. Are you guys excited?
Excited, but nervous.
Yeah, I feel that too.
For sure.
So overall, on this first episode, we wanted to touch something that we are all kind of going through, and that's just like the lack of human connection, or just like human connection as a topic. Just be a little more familiar with what it is, how we're dealing with our either lack of human connection or overload, because I know some of us live with our parents and sometimes they could be a little too much. So what do you guys think about this topic?
Well, I personally, as like an introvert, I'm really liking this stay-at-home situation because I really like it. But after quarantine started, I realized that human connection is really important. Because for me, it kind of is a feeling of a sense of belonging, I guess. Because even though I live at home and I have family to talk to, which is I'm very grateful for, but there's so much that you can talk to them about.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to go to work or just go to some place, talk to friends in person, it kind of gives you the sense of belonging to a community. Mm-hmm. That after quarantine started, I know a lot of us lost, which is really hard for all of us, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What about you, April?
It was definitely hard. And then it is still hard, but I'm glad that, I learned a lot from it. Just like Cindy said that, Cindy lives with her parents and then all her families, but I live with myself in an apartment and then I work at home every day. And I started to realize, how important that I need this human connection every day, and how important it is to me. And not only I would like to talk to people face to face, but also I think you have a different needs of human connection. I would like to talk to my friends for certain situations, and those might not be really, ideal if I would have wanted to talk with my family. And there's some certain things that I wanted to talk my coworkers on face to face. So I think human connections is important, as for sure we all learn from this quarantine situation, but also, there's different format of human connection where you'll be who you're talking to for different situations and conditions are also something, I start to realize, there's actually quite various of human connection that we really need in daily basis. Mm-hmm. It's a little, I would say it was a bittersweet experience that I've had in the past year. But I'm glad that I was able to discover what it is, how I need it, and then why do I need it so much in my, day-to-day life. So I'm really appreciative of that. Yeah. What about yourself, Maribel?
Yeah, I realize how vital human connection is in my life, just because I feel like I've always looked for communities to feel inspired and encouraged and just motivated. Because sometimes when you're all alone and you have coworkers and you just talk to a certain group of people, but it's not very intentional conversations, because you'll have conversations that are just oh, did you get this, or can you do this? It's not more I want to talk to you, I want to nurture this relationship, I want to see what you are dreaming, what you're future, like visions are for your future and stuff like that, which I think is very important. And I think this year I have saw the importance in that, and I have either like caught up with people that really do matter in my life, and I was just like, oh, I want to make it a point and a time to actually talk to this person. So yeah, I think it's so important in my life, more than I actually thought. So yeah, and I feel like it's also hitting 25. I just feel like I'm I'm realizing things. It's like a little sense of maturity too. So yeah, what do you guys think on that too?
Feel you, girl, for sure.
Yeah.
I just, like I kind of briefly mentioned, I think there's like, although you kind of have someone with you during this quarantine time, but for example, you know, there's things that happen at work. It'll be hard to explain that to your family because you have to tell the whole story to them instead of like, you know, you just, you know, share that with some of your good friends, you know, your peers. Might be a little easier in terms of, you know, having the whole context, how you would feel. And then, you know, they would definitely, you know, provide you a little bit more understanding in terms of the whole story. For sure, you know, parents, you know, my family is always my good listeners, but I'm just saying, you know, there's certain things that you would want to share with certain people, but that's sometimes lack of a choice right now due to the current situation. So
even like small talk. Like I know when we were back in the office, I had a lot of coworkers, like they'd come to my desk or we'd go over to their desk and just, you know, talk about just like random things, how their day was going. So I think we really took for granted the ability to have small talk with people.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even though some people hate small talk, like we've become appreciative of it for sure. What about you, Carol?
Kind of half and half for me, I guess. In sense of like, I am enjoying, you know, holding up in my room, living under a rock, basically, you know, just not seeing sunlight, you know, not really, but just like the
That's
fact
so
that
Carol.
I know the introvert in you is thriving right now.
yes, my like half of me is thriving with like I love it, but also the fact that it's like, you know, not being able to hang out with like our friend, like you guys, or like with people who can somehow like validate my existence. So like it goes in the part where you like start to think and you really start going down. Sometimes it's really dangerous to go down that route too. But like the whole entire thing where like I'm like thinking on what am I gonna do now because, you know, of the pandemic and everything. So you have a lot of time to think, and sometimes thinking too much is not healthy.
Yeah, overthinking is a disease.
I think that's sort of a side effect that we have right now out of this quarantine. We're on top of it pretty much.
During like the beginning of this quarantine, the feeling of like loneliness kind of hit really hard. Because like even though like as an introvert I like staying at home and like being to myself, but I have these like times where I have like these spurts of like I want to be a social butterfly, hang out with my friends, but you can't do that. Like we couldn't do that during quarantine, and we still shouldn't as much, even though some people are doing it. But it was hard, like that feeling of loneliness.
Oh yeah. At the beginning it was so hard. I was like, oh my gosh. But then again, there was a sense of like everyone's at home. I'm pretty sure if I call them, they will be available. But then you also have to realize people work, we still have lives, we're still kind of busy figuring out like what we're doing. So it was like, oh wait, I can't just call people. I can't just interrupt their lives because we're all like busy still.
Yeah, so true. Like, half of my life is like bothering other people now. Because
Sorry, continue.
I kind of have like time to do that, but then it's like, oh, I can't call them, or oh, I can't text them right now, or oh, why aren't they texting me back? Because, well, they work, first off. And then I'm just like, I can talk to you guys, I can catch up, let's do projects together, let's do this and that. And then you're just like, haha, so not gonna happen. And then you continue on to thinking and rethinking about life again.
Yeah, for sure. I think that kind of leads into our next question of how has the decrease of human interaction due to the pandemic affected your physical, mental, or emotional stability? And I can say that for sure that like little thing that we just talked about on how I've become a little bit socially anxious of like, oh, can I reach out to them right now? Or they're probably at work. I don't know. I'll send a message and let's see if they open it. But then again, when people reach out to me and I'm like, oh wait, I'm doing this. I'll answer you guys in a bit. I'm sorry. So it's like that whole like, I don't know how to deal with so much, not like message inflow and like me reaching out to people, but it's just like, when is it okay? I still don't know. I wish we all had like calendars. It's like, I'm free on Thursdays. Reach to me on Saturday morning because I'll answer you then. Like something like that. I feel like socially, I've become a little bit anxious when it comes to some things. I know that my lack of human interaction, like physically, I have been so unmotivated to like do my hair, my makeup, and just look super cute all the time. However, I still try to make an effort. It's just not as often as like in regular life because I don't know. You try to look cute for the people around you sometimes. And there's no people around me. So I'm like, I don't care if I look like a bum. Or like, I'm probably going to cry all this makeup off later. So I don't care if I don't wear makeup that day. My face will be hydrated. But yeah, there's those things. And I think mentally, I guess mental health has been a big thing during this time. And I think at the beginning it was a little tough, I will say, but I feel like I've seen really tough patches in my last 3 years of life. So this wasn't as dark or deep as it had previously been. So I feel like that prepared me to be a stronger person during these times. So I was kind of happy and I totally understood why I needed to go through that early on in order to be like good during these years. Because I feel like I've been thriving these past or like 2020 and entering 2021. And that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast, I think. And I think April and Cindy and Carol, you guys can relate a little more and talk about that too. So.
Yeah, hey, I have to jump in here. You guys want to hear Maribel's surviving story from the past 2 years? Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.
Yeah, go for it. Take the mic away from me. Jump in.
You will spill the tea, no worries. I just left the hints here. FYI.
Let's put a bookmark in that.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'll continue the questions since I took it over. Yeah, I think just, on top of what Maribel has mentioned, I think right now we kind of carry a little bit of like anxiety when talking to people, communicating with people. Because, we want to have fun, wanted to be, be able to hang out with friends, but also the current situation has somewhat, pushed this amount of anxiety to us because we don't know, what's going to happen and then when this is going to be end. Everyone's like living in anxious, more or less every day. And then it's definitely been affecting a lot of part of our life, working, communicating. And I guess personally, I started working from home since last March, that I've been working from home ever since. I was really, like time flew. But yeah, I was really happy and I was like, okay, I don't have to get up early and, hop on a bus and get into a boat. Yes, I took boat to work every day. You want to hear the story? Stay up to date.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, stay
because
tuned.
I have to I have to take this thing called Sea Bus because I need to go into the other side to work. But I'm
Was
not
this
going
in
to get
Vancouver?
Yeah, it's a Vancouver thing. So I have to go to the other side of the city, and then Sea Bus is the fastest way ever if you don't want to get into traffic. But I'm not going to tell too much about it for now. So yeah, now
fun.
yeah. So going back to what I was just talking about, I was so happy that I started working from home, and then I just stopped getting too happy. I just wake up and then get up every morning and then check on my emails, that kind of thing. Just this whole routine every day gives me not wanting to get up every morning and then go to work. It's like the same thing, just repeatedly every day. And then I just started to, tell myself that, you got to sort yourself up. You can't really, leave this anxiety every day and then just day by day, you're not getting out of it. And then you just lose your motivation, basically. Mm-hmm. So I started to organize my home office to, put it a little more organized and more like an office kind of thing. So that I put myself into the mood. Okay, I still like my day-to-day working routine. I still go to work, but just at home, I got a monitor. I got, like keyboards and everything because I had my laptop only at the beginning. So those are little things that I pretty much did to help myself out while working from home. And then definitely there's a lot of distractions when you're working from home. There are a lot of things happen. For
so
sure.
Many distractions.
I know.
Snacks.
So that's something, putting yourself into this working mode would help out, so you don't feel like you're at home somehow. And then you still should put your concentration 100% at work. So that's pretty much a little journey that I've taken ever since last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. But again, I think at the end of the day, I just realized I learned a lot from it. It's more of discovering myself, how my emotions or kind of idea goes every day based on different situations. And then how I would feel, how should I fix myself in a way? I think something that I took out of this whole thing was kind of valuable. Out of my anxieties.
I feel like I've become super hypersensitive during these times. I'm just
what do you mean?
I feel a lot more than I want to. I will cry watching a Korean drama when before I was just like, oh, that's cute, that's sad. But now I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. Or something. I will cry or I will be super happy. And it's extremes. So I would just want to say it's hyper a lot. So that was something else that I just wanted. I don't know, because April was talking about how
Yeah,
she
I think it's
feels.
just like the emotions of my life is just suddenly it goes up to like level 10 and then
Yeah.
it just went down for like no reason. And then something
Hmm.
happened, then it just went back up to level 11 again. It's just like so unstable
Mhm.
for like
Yes.
no reasons. I just lost myself every day and try to look for myself. Yeah,
Oh
something that I'm
yeah.
still trying to figure out. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I think it's like um, going like doing the same thing every day. It can be kind of stressful because it's like, and like when you take out the transportation time and like time that you just do stuff that you don't think about, you just have like so much more time to think, which is again going back, not very good if you think too much. But then it causes you to be like more stressed because it's like, oh, you have so much more time. Like, you should be using your time more wisely. And like, what can you do with all this time? And like, if you especially go on social media, you're seeing all these people doing so many things. And it's like, oh, I should be doing these things too. And it's like, oh, like, I think time management is on my list to do because like being at home, I need to manage my time better or else I'm going to get too stressed. Like, oh, I have work, but then now I have free time. What can I do with that free time? And like trying to fill that free time with something instead of just letting it be and like just relaxing.
So,
So, yeah.
jumping in, making a comment. So, let us know in the comments below or in the comment section if you are feeling like during this time the same emotions of like or experience the same emotion of like super high and then super low. I mean, obviously, I think I could say all four of us are kind of feeling that. Like, I mean, I don't usually cry. And I was telling them earlier that I was like, on a song, I cried. And it takes a lot to make me cry.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Like, everyone will be crying at the sad part, and I will just be like, uh huh. So, definitely let us know if you guys are feeling the same way. And how are you guys combating that, or like what do you guys do in order to like maybe motivate yourself to get out of it?
Yeah. Please let us know. I also heard this quote once that says, you have to experience the lowest of lows to appreciate the highs in your life. And like, I see that, but I feel it now too. And it's not great all the time. I'm like, okay, yeah, I appreciate the great things in my life, because you can notably see them. Um, because yeah, you compare that darkness to the light in your life and you're like, wow. So yeah, let us know.
That brings us to our next question. How are you guys coping with the lack of human connection?
I mean, I'm just keeping busy, preoccupied with everything. I feel like I've taken my Instagram game to another level. I'm like, I'm just gonna do my makeup and my hair for no reason at all and go out to either my backyard or my front yard. Literally, Instagram has seen every corner of my house. It's just very, very like well done. It's tastefully done. Just to either do that. I actually had a lot of opportunities with Instagram this year. I had like companies gift things to me so I could pose with,
Ooh.
things like that. I got a lot of my artwork shown in different Instagram like at the
Congratulations.
platform. So thank you. But I feel like I've definitely like delved myself into work and just like creating, just like actually digitally creating. So I feel like, yeah, keeping busy to distract myself in a sense. And I've overwatched so many TV shows and Korean dramas. So if you
Girl, I'm
need,
with you.
yeah, if you need suggestions of a good show, just let us know. I feel like collectively we've all watched a lot.
I watched so many dramas this year or last year.
Hmm.
Oh,
So it's like TV, work, creating stuff. I know I've been getting into cooking a lot too, and I love baking. Baking was something new. What about you guys? How you guys dealing. I know that this was not positively because I just avoided my human connection and just delved into, well, I also listened to a lot of podcasts, and that felt like I was the fourth person or third person in the room. So that was really good for me. And I feel like I found that kind of human interaction in that. What about you, Carol?
For me, I went into, I guess, a renovation. Because obviously, now that you're working at home, I kind of need to separate myself from like my bedroom, because obviously I get really distracted really fast with just about anything. Like I could just look out the window and stare out the window for quite a bit, and then like come back and be like, oh my God, did I even blink in that time? And then I'm just like, nope, probably didn't. That's why my eyes are dry. And then, like trying to like reorganize myself and trying to find a space to build that motivation. And it's also hard to try to build that space and keep motivated in building that space, because I have a lot of stuff that I need to clean out. And it's like, you're being artistic, you got a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like you're always like, oh, I can use that for a later project. I can't throw that away yet.
Yeah.
And then you never get to it.
I listened to I think it was a TikTok that said, I'm convinced that buying craft supplies is a different hobby than actually using your art supplies. And I felt that to the core. I was
Definitely.
like, oh gosh. Yes.
Like, oh, I need this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could use this for this project.
And then do we ever use it?
No.
No, maybe on the first day you buy it, you're so excited, you rip open all the packages and you're like, I'm going to use this. And then you're like, if you're like one of those people who are super organized and you put all your stuff nicely and you just like, it looks good. Don't touch
it. Don't want to touch it again.
Don't touch it.
Exactly.
I also did a lot. I try a lot of things that I've never thought that I would ever get into. During this quarantine, I tried painting. I picked up my old paint that I probably, I don't know, left ever since college. And I did a lot of scratches. I tried to, build up a new hobby basically. And then I also tried cooking. So now I'm really into all those, kind of Chinese dishes that you can do at home. That's pretty awesome. And then I would, share the finished look to my friends and family, and they'll be like, "Did you do that?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and they're like, "Oh, that's quite impressive." I'm like,
"Thank you."
I take that as a compliment. Okay. All right. Yeah. Like it wasn't hard. You just have to, this whole process about getting ingredients. Some of them are like semi-cooked. You're just going to, get it home and then heated them and, mix them together. And they're just actually super easy, but you feel like super kind of, satisfying of how all those homemade stuff like are made off of your hand. Super cool. And it's also cheaper, healthier if you cook at home. And it doesn't really have to be super fancy, it's all going to get into, you're going to be the one eating them. So I didn't really say really fancy on my food and stuff. As long as it's eatable and then it's delicious, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then I also did a lot of I took a lot of pictures, out of every single corner of my not very big apartment during those free times.
Oh, no, go check out April's Instagram.
I was going to mention that.
I was like, wow.
I don't have a business account, but someone else does. So you guys should leave your Instagram account
Yes.
down below, whatever. So
I mean, you can
you
follow
can check it out.
at elbow.pod to get more updates on the podcast. But if you guys do and are interested in our personal Instagrams, I guess you will find them. They will be sprinkled around. They'll look good.
For sure. Sprinkle.
You'll look, if you look, you'll find. But yeah, we'll keep our identities a little private for now.
Yes.
Unless you're coming from our socials, then
Yes.
you know who we are.
Going off what April was saying, yeah, I've definitely found so many new hobbies during quarantine. Like, I've tried painting, picked up my sketching, digital sketching, and like just trying so many new things.
I love your photography.
Oh, thank you. Carol's personal photographer.
That's right. You're my personal photographer that I haul around.
Yes.
I mean, your brother too, right?
He's the model.
Yeah. He's a model.
Yeah.
Free labor.
Family run business.
Family run
family.
business. You gotta. Connections.
Use them.
You gotta use them, right?
Yeah. But like, so exploring different hobbies. And actually in the beginning of the pandemic, or towards the middle, June, July, I worked at a bakery because at that point I was like, I really need some other human connection outside of my family. So I decided to work at a bakery, and it was a lot of fun. I got to talk to a lot of people, socially distanced. But like the coworkers were really fun to talk to. And that's like when I realized that human connection was like really important, at least to me. You just need that like person to talk to about like your day, how you're going. And I also really like learning about people. That's one thing I learned. It's just people are so interesting.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I love that. I love making new friends or just meeting new people.
And like listening to their experience, where they're from.
Yeah. See, I feel like that leads into our next question. What is the difference between social media and online connections versus like the face-to-face interactions? And it's true. When you meet someone, it's a little more organic. Whereas if you are like bump into someone online, unless you guys like had a comment section interaction or something, it's kind of hard because you're like, I see your whole life displayed in front of me. There's nothing else that I want to ask you about or something like that. So I think it's really difficult. So like how do you think the bakery, like, do you still have contact with those people? Do you still like follow them on social media and stuff?
Yeah, I follow quite a bit of my the coworkers I had there, but I actually made a really good friend there that I still talk to today, and we just had so many things in common, and it was just like, wow, I didn't know there was like a person out there like that. And like, I think if you were to like go on someone's social media account per se, and you can like see all their pictures and stuff like that, you don't really know them, I guess. Like, it was so much fun just like learning about her background, and like she came from Singapore, and like just like her experiences, and you can't really see that just by someone's profile.
Oh, that's cool.
Everyone looks so perfect on Instagram. Like, who would post their set stories on Instagram? Maybe they do occasionally, but majority of the time you see like it's just how happy that person is, or like how put together that person is. It's not really relatable, at least from my standpoint.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to hear something, or like I would like to share something that everyone's going through, and I want to hear how people, like other people, are solving those kind of situations in their life, and then so that I can learn from. Or if I've gone through something, I'd like to share that with other, just in case if you ever have to get into that certain situation in your life. Hope that will be helpful, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot easier to start a conversation like in person, because then you can like, oh, see the reaction and like, oh, if they don't want to talk to you,
Yeah.
you'll get the point. But like it's so hard
Yeah.
like trying to start a conversation with someone online.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can't see their facial expression. Like you
Mhm.
can't really tell like how do they feel about the things that you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's so weird to me because like you'll tiptoe around like specific subjects, like oh, like and what I typically do, I lead in with like, do you guys want a video chat? Do you want a video chat? Because it's easier. I know you're at home. If you want to, you don't have to show me your face, but just know that I look like trash too. Like it's fine. But I feel like this has definitely led me to be more intentional. Sorry. Intentional about like, okay, like I'm going to talk to this person and hopefully they can meet me or schedule something in so I can talk to them. And you'll just go in and just realize how much you miss that person too. And like, it's also easier because it's people from like friends that are probably not from the same state as you or like people April. Like this is crazy that we can communicate with you and it's like time zones and everything like that we're able to do this. I think it's like a blessing also that came with like the terrible that everything happened this past year, you know? So yeah, that's that's why I feel like technology has allowed us to do this face to face too, which is pretty cool.
And we never know like how much that we really, need this kind of technology until now, or actually until last year, that really changed our life or changed the way that we're communicating. And that I do feel like low key right now, like I know like whenever this thing's it's gonna go away and then we step out, just to have like ability to hear other people talking in front of you will be so satisfying. You're like, I don't care what they're talking about. As long as you're talking in front of me, I'll be like, my eyes are like blinking. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, wow. It's like another new word. Low key, I do feel that at the end of the day. But that will be fun. Yeah, I just feel like sometimes I get really just depressed at home and then I don't know why. And then the second that I step out of my room, like go for grocery shopping, everything just fix everything.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah. It's like
it changes in scenery too.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't really have to talk to anybody because, it just like be able to get the fresh air and then drive around the city. It's amazing right now.
Driving.
Yeah.
I usually I hate driving, but sometimes now I kind of miss it. Just like being out on the road and just driving.
True.
So what are you guys kind of, what would you recommend for like to do during this kind of situation right now to help people like, step out the potential depressions or anxieties? What would you say?
I mean, a lot comes from like where you focus your time and then you'll find people like organically. It's just like go do something that you really like. So I know there's still like a lot of art classes and different classes that offer online alternatives. So you can still join a paint session or a ceramics class or different like either courses or just like cooking classes via Zoom. And I think those are so much easier to find nowadays because everybody's doing them. But I think that's like a great alternative to like meeting people and just like doing something that you like, some hobby that you probably picked up during quarantine and actually want to get better at, get more skillful in it. I think that's a great option. What about you guys?
Another one is reaching out to an old friend that you've lost touch with or because you never know. They're probably excited to hear from you too.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Like you
proactive.
guys.
Just set up the call.
Like,
And do not wait for others to call you. I think it's important. Just set up a
Yeah,
call and
don't
be,
hesitate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do it. Just do it. Talk to that person that you've been meaning to talk to. Please reach out. And if it's me, please call me.
They're probably
Set
waiting
up-
for you.
Set up a Zoom call with Maribel. Just check her schedule.
Yeah. I'll post my schedule.
oh my gosh.
That's so funny. But yeah, I think that's a great thing to do. And it's also touching on human connection, just checking in on people and checking how
Yeah.
they're doing. And yeah, you never know. Maybe it's so weird. More recently, I've gotten DMs and messages from people that are like, oh, we just respect your positivity and we admire it. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't see myself like that, but I do want to be a like source of light for people. If they need to talk to someone, like, talk to me. Like, yeah, I felt the things that you felt probably at one point in my life, so we can talk about it. And like, I've been out of it, I've been in it. Just, yeah, let me know, like, I think I've learned, and those like reaching out and just like talking to people that I've met throughout either college or just like my time abroad, I think it has really benefited me socially and mentally. So yeah.
And then I think catching up with family would be a really good, unless you live with your family, and then yeah, that's fine, right? But I
See them
don't.
every day.
So yeah, but I mean, although you're seeing them every day, really have this designated time to sit with them, talk about life, and then
That is true.
just nonsense things will be appreciated time as well. But for me, because I just live by myself, I call my dad every week just to check in with him,
Cute.
and then
That's
he'll be
sweet.
like, something else? Anything else? Can I hang up? I was like, no, it's been only 10 minutes. I have a
talk
ton of
to
things
me.
I want to talk to you, okay? And he'd be like, okay, sure, go ahead. I'm going to go for lunch. I was like, oh, okay, sure. I'll call earlier next time. It was fun. That's just my dad. But I still do that because I want to be able to, make sure, catching up with family is important, is another level, but I think, it ties to human connection as well, because, you be able to talk with the family, hearing what they're saying, hearing their advice, especially you're facing some, challenging time in your life. Talking with your parents, talk through stuff will always be helpful. And especially right now, you do want to check in with them, to see if they're doing well or not, had something happen on their
Staying safe,
end.
staying healthy.
Yeah. Especially they're far away from you.
Stay safe.
What was that?
Oh, I was just like, which comes to stay safe, everybody.
Oh,
Stay
yes.
healthy.
Yeah, make
have
sure
a
you
good
stay
happy
priority.
safe, stay healthy, prioritize your health over anything.
Yeah, I think when everyone was going into 2020, I would be like, oh, I want to travel. I want to do this and that. And then
Heck yeah.
coming to 2021, it'd be like, I just want to stay safe, stay healthy, or continue staying healthy.
Yeah.
And then do well.
Yeah, I had something planned out for every
just-
month.
No wrong.
Did not work
That's the
out.
priority for everybody during this challenging time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Carol? What's your advice on?
My advice, don't think too much. Don't go too deep in that sense. But that's pretty much my advice. Don't think too much. And just like find positive like messages, if you need someone to watch or something to listen to, you listen to us.
Yeah.
You listen to us, or watch, like what I've been doing is watching like a lot of like packaging videos and seeing people being successful during this time, which
Yeah,
makes
it's definitely
me motivated.
motivating. Yeah.
It's just definitely very motivating, especially seeing how everyone is starting to support little business or local businesses. And it saddens me that, that a lot of shops or a lot of places have closed down because of the pandemic. But because of that, like, in some way, shape, or form, you can help out here or there. And it doesn't have to be in person. Like, there's a lot of places or a lot of genres that you could help out with without sacrificing safety.
Definitely.
Yeah. Just to close off our whole talk on human connections, we did find this quote that was really, I think, something to reflect on. So we kind of want to let you guys reflect on it too. And it quotes, vulnerability is the essence of connection, and connection is the essence of existence. And it's by Leo Christopher. So we thought it was really interesting because to every relationship or every connection that you have, there's a level of like transparency and like just genuine realness that you have to bring to the table in order for, I don't know, just being able to connect with people. And I thought it was so like crazy that it said this is like basically the core of existence, because it's true. If you're in this world by yourself and there was no one around you, wouldn't that be crazy? Like, that's why we're in this world with tons of other people. I think it's important to just like be at a level that you can relate to others and you can motivate and inspire others. But yeah, what do you guys think?
And like having that person that you can be that vulnerable with, I think that's very important.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful having you guys.
Yeah.
Grateful for you too. I'm grateful for all of you.
Yes. And we're also grateful for you guys who are listening. So just let us know what you think the message behind this quote is. But that's all for our topic. We are going to be moving on to our little foodie segment. We will be adding a little tiny, maybe not tiny, depends, food segment to every podcast because we love food. And today's topic is food TikTok. Like, I don't know how many of you guys are on TikTok, but I know I was pressured by the quarantine to join TikTok. And I mean, I love how TikToks make it onto Instagram nowadays either way. So I feel like everybody's exposed to their fair share of food TikToks. But my favorite these days have been like the 10 days of, and then it's like street Korean food, and they make a different food like every day. And I'm like, oh, I love these creators. I'm like, they're literally just filming themselves eating and making their food. And I love that so much. What about you guys? Have you guys seen any food TikToks that you guys really like?
I saw one recently. It was these people actually like filming the food and like making kind of like, it's like food TikTok, but it's like commercial style, I guess.
Ooh.
So it's like different, they use like crazy transitions.
Oh, I've
Have you seen
totally
those?
seen some. Yeah, where it's like this guy offers to do like kind of a commercial, like free marketing for a street vendor. And he does like all these crazy shots of the food. And it's just like either, I don't know, taco stands or literally
What is
anything.
this?
It's amazing.
See.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
go
so
check
cool.
it out. We will try to find some and post them on
I've
our
finally
description.
caved into, reactivating my TikTok account.
Do it.
Well,
I've been watching stuff, but haven't gotten to food yet. I put it as one of the things that I want to watch, but hasn't popped up.
Oh, I feel like the algorithm is pretty good at letting you know what you like. For me being food, for sure.
Well, I've been watching a lot of packaging videos, so
yeah,
that's
small
what
business.
I've been seeing. But oh my gosh, I want to see how he does that. That'd be amazing.
I'll find it and send it.
And there's like
Yes.
different trends too that you'll see in like cooking and like food TikTok. Like right now, I feel like the wraps that you make into different foods, like where it's like
Tortilla wrap?
yeah, the tortilla wraps where it's like
the one that
folded
has four?
into four.
Everywhere.
Oh, the quadrant
Yeah, I've
and the
been seeing-
panini.
yeah, I've seen them with Vietnamese food, with Korean food, with Mexican
Sushi?
food, with sushi.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, these are so good, and I want to try them all. And I do have the ingredients, so I might just do it. You know, I might gather my favorite ones and just do them,
Mhm.
and maybe post them on the Instagram.
Yes, share.
Yeah, or we'll post them on the Elbow Pod Instagram, and yeah, you guys could check them out there.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Fancy
Okay.
content.
Well, that wraps up our show for today. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Spotify. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at elbowpod. That's ALBOE.pod. And we'll also be posting this recording on YouTube. So check us out there and leave us a comment.
We hope that you will join us next week for our next episode where we will be exploring our love life, guys. Yeah, we're getting into something juicy. I was checking out the topics and I was like, ooh, okay. So we'll probably leave a poll on Instagram where you guys can ask questions and let us know what you want to know about our love lives.
Oh my gosh.
Or those
it's gonna
embarrassing
be
stories,
funny.
you know?
And it's gonna be so funny.
great. I feel like some of us are gonna have a lot to say, more than others, for sure.
I'm
But
excited
yeah.
already.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
excited too.
And then you can find our social media information in the bio or the description box on YouTube.
Yeah. And I think that's all from us today, guys. Have a great day, night, morning, whatever time you're listening to us. All right.
Have a delicious
Bye.
day.
Have a
Talk to
delicious
you next
day.
time.
Have a delicious day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.